Hello gamers, this is Simcraft, and today I want to help you and myself improve in Battlefield 3. Well, I want to help with accuracy and latency and what sort of things, sensitivity. A lot of the time I've been inaccurate, shooting people, or I've been shooting people and they've not been dying, or I've been hiding behind a rock or a building, but I've still been shot, and then I'm starting to think, oh, what's happening? Are they using cheats? And I thought, well, it's happening too often. I don't believe everybody's would be cheating. So I know there are cheats in Battlefield 3, but I think in the end I thought, well, it must be me. And then I started doing my research on the internet, and I found loads of things that can improve all these things: accuracy, latency, sensitivity of your mouse, and shooting. And I'm going to help you improve, or help myself as well, and get my scores a little bit better. This down here, I'm showing you this little mouse here as well. That will show you part of the accuracy problem that I had before. But before that, there's some files. There's 3 files that we need. 2 of the files are already on the computer, and the 3rd one you download from the internet. I'll just show these files and where to get them first, and then put them to desktop, or just remember where they are. If I click on that there to show you properties, the first one is the user.cfg or config file that's in the Battlefield game. So it would be in C drive, program files times 86, and then the origin games folder, and then the Battlefield 3 folder, and then you'll find the user config there. So we'll go and find that first and put that to desktop. I'll show you how it's put to desktop because it's already there, but I thought that'd be useful. And you can modify it and change it and see what effect it has in game. So simply you go to your computer, and then C drive, the main drive, and then in Windows you'll find the program files times 86, then drag down to find origin, and then origin games below. Open origin games, Battlefield 3, and then user.config or CFG. Make a copy. See, I made a copy above by just going copy, paste. So you've always got your original. If things don't work out, you can just revert to where you started. So nothing's going to happen. You can just play happily. I've put it to desktop now, so you can double click that to open it to have a quick look before we modify it. I'll put it to desktop there, and the defaults are all there at the moment. The gametime.maxvariablefps is 200 frames per second, you can see, and these other settings, 1 and 0. 1 means on and 0 means off, so you can actually just change these settings and see how you get on. That's the first file. Another file is found in a different place, and it's the prof save profile. It is your Battlefield 3 folder that in your Battlefield 3 settings, which you can change yourself. But it's in users, and whatever username, I've put my username as BF3, which is, and then it's in documents, and then in Battlefield 3, and then it's in the settings folder, and then you find it there. I'll show you how to find that now by clicking the Windows circle, as if you were going to shut down. Go into documents, there it is, Battlefield 3 settings below the screenshots, and there it's the bottom one. You can open that quickly with what can you open it with? WordPad. There you are. They've got lots of settings there. I mean, they're your own personal settings which you can change, and that isn't cheating. That is just your own settings that you prefer. So there's two settings, two files I should say, that you can alter. The other one that will help you is the Windows mouse acceleration in Windows 7 or Windows 8. It isn't fixed at 1:1, but Mark C, I don't know his second name, the actual folder on the internet, which I'll put links below this video. It's actually Mark C _ Windows _ 8+7, which means Windows 7 and Windows 8 _ mouse fix, to get a 1:1 mouse ratio for your mouse. So when you do, it's like 1:1. It's a direct input, and so I think that stops lag as well. It's more accurate. Right. So there's three things we're going to change, I think, that you can alter and you can play with and see what works for you. Anyway, let's open the accuracy, latency, sensitivity for notepad, where I've reminded myself of all the things that you can do. So you've got the two files, the user.config and the prof save profile, and you've downloaded the Mark C Windows 8+7 mouse fix. Once you've got those, we'll start with what should we start with? We'll talk about the VSync and changing that first. You can either have VSync off, but you can get tearing. I think you've probably been finding this out anyway. Or you can switch it on, and then it means you get more latency, but no tearing. So do you switch it off or do you switch it on? A lot of people that play games nowadays will switch off VSync just to get the hits in, no latency, know where the person is and get him, kind of thing. But do you want a nice looking game as well without the tearing? So you switch it on, so people go, oh yes and no. But if you've got it on and you've got the frames per second at open, like at the moment it says 200, doesn't it, on the user config, you don't need those extra frames, and it's just wasted frames. You only need the frames that your monitor can take, really, which is supposed to be 60 frame, but it isn't. 60 Hz or 60 is the fixed number that the manufacturers say, but in fact a lot of people find you have problems with that, and I've just found out that it isn't 60 at all. It's more like 59 or 59.94. So a lot of people will set the limiter of the frames per second to 59. You can experiment, or 58. You can have it a bit less. 58, 59. A lot of people put 59 as the limiter, or some people find that the best one is 59.94, and they have no problems at all with stuttering or anything. It's just right. And to do that, you put that in the config file. Say it's 200 there. Instead of 200, and the title is gametime.maxvariablefps. FPS, which is frames per second, it means. At the moment it's 200 by default, but I'm going to change it to 59, and I'm going to try that. If it doesn't work, just go back to your old user config, but save that. There you are, that's saved. And while we're here, we'll just show you some of these other ones as well in a minute. Yeah, 59, but later I might try 59.94. But if there's no problems with that, I'll leave it at that. Quickly anyway, the render, I think most people know this, render dot draw frames per second. You can do this in the console, but it's nicer to just have a user config that's always set, and you can save that somewhere really safe in case you lose things or you have to reinstall. But render dot draw frames per second means 1 means on, which will show the frames per second in the top right hand corner, and then you can alter these from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. Yeah, we'll leave that there now. So we want to keep it simple, this. Just the simple fixes. Now, anyway, yeah, it's just going to remind me of what I said. Yeah, that's what I mean. You just see how bad the tearing is when you do switch it off. If it's not too bad, you can switch it off. If you have to switch it on, try and limit it to 59 frames per second using that gametime.maxvariablefps in the user config, which is in your C drive Battlefield Origins folder. Right, the next thing we're going to do is mouse sensitivity. This is why I've got this below, this video below of my mouse on the mouse mat. Now what you have to do, and most of the good shooters or the best Battlefield 3 people will, and I didn't know this, I just started playing, and I've been playing for months, but I just leave all the settings and just get on and just think, oh well, I'm terrible. But I've just discovered all this time, I'll show you down here, I've been using as much as this. That's me cup of water there. My sensitivity has been from there. You do a 360 turn, so you start from one position, turn all the way round to the same position, and I've been turning to about 2. So if you try and hit somebody, you'd move a little bit like that, and you'd overshoot, and you're missing completely, and try and come back and you miss him again. So you're going backwards and forwards and wobbling and not hitting the target accurately. Now don't know what happened there. Right, now the good way of setting this, set up the game, go onto a server that there's nobody on, find a wall and shoot at it about 1 meter away from the wall. Start from there, 0, shoot it so you've made a mark in the wall, and then do a 360 degree turn, and the turn should, instead of being 2, so I'm going to go off my mouse mat in a minute, past the 2, past the 3, and I think a lot of people have it either from 4 to 5. A lot of people have it about 4.5, but I'm not used to it at the moment, so I'm going to have to start with about 4 or 4. A lot of people say 4.25, but that means you'll see. I mean, when you're firing and seeing people, you only see people in front of you. If there's somebody behind you, they've already killed you. So what's the point of that? But it still leaves you room on the mouse mat to do the 360. But it also leaves you accuracy to actually put the crosshairs on somebody and kill them straight out. That is a very good tip anyway. So I like that. That will be helpful if nothing else is. Yeah, so I've done that. Measure 360 degree turn on empty server, approximately 4.5 inch, using a ruler and on a mouse mat, which we've done there. But you'll be in game when you do that. Right, mouse acceleration. Right, I didn't even know. I thought everybody was equal on these servers and everybody was set up the same. But there's loads of different things you can put. The next one, number 3, mouse acceleration. In Windows 7 and Windows 8, I think you've got a mouse acceleration that doesn't help things, and you want to turn it off using mark C underscore Windows underscore 8 plus 7 underscore mouse fix, which I'll put the link to underneath, or just put that word in, the exact word in, so you can search for it yourself. But I'll find the link. And what you need to get is a one-to-one input. But anyway, that's a fix for Windows 7 and 8. That's mouse acceleration. Right. Oh, in-game as well, you can actually set it to in-game. When you're in-game and you click escape, you can go to settings and you can set the mouse to raw as well. You can try it with on or off. I think they suggest that you put it on raw to keep it the input exactly the same as what you move, like a one-to-one movement. All this I think it helps accuracy, so that will be very useful. This is another thing I found on the internet: mouse deacceleration. And it's legal. I was going to say it's legal to change a user profile, so you're not going to get in trouble for this. And I think I read lots of things on the internet about they were going to fix this in the Battlefield 3, but they didn't get round to it or something. Perhaps they will do it later. So somebody found out a good way of setting the mouse deacceleration is use the GST input.scheme 0 sensitivity and the GST input.scheme 1 sensitivity. Look for them in the prof save profile, and you want to change them from 1.60s to 0.60s, and they're found in the user documents Battlefield 3 settings folder. We'll quickly try and find them now. That's it. That's the user. This isn't on the. It's on the C drive, but it's not on the in the Windows 86 directory. It's in your user, and I've put it to desktop there. In fact, it's there. Look, and then the username, and then my documents, Battlefield settings. There it is there. Open that with WordPad, but I'll put it to desktop here. Open with WordPad. Let's find those. You've got the GST audio, render, input, and then let's just find a couple of those. It's input, GST input, scheme 0, sensitivity. You see it's one there. I'll highlight it. GST input dot scheme 0 sensitivity. You change from that to a 0 and then save. Let's find another one. GST input, which is, and it's scheme 1 sensitivity. I'll highlight that. GST input dot scheme 1 sensitivity 1. Right, we change that to 0 and file save, and that has hopefully cured the mouse deacceleration. So that's 4 things we've done. to improve. I hope this will all work. Actually, some of it I've tried already and it does work. You can click off that now. Right, the next thing is number 4 on the list. No, it isn't. We've done 4. Number 5 is network smoothing. Right, you can change the slider in-game, go in-game again, click escape, look for your settings, and there's a slider there in-game. You click on it, move it right to the left. Now, you lower latency, which is useful for killing. You lower the hit registration, but you get choppy animation. Or you slide it to the right, but you get higher latency, which isn't great, but you get hit registration, isn't great, but you get nicer animations. So the knife takedowns and things like the animations are, well, they don't look realistic, they look choppy, and they aren't very good at all. So you've got to find a good medium between good graphics and lower latency. I've gone into more detail here, so network smoothing, this might help you a bit more. A lot of this I've found on the internet. I've just collated it all together so I can actually understand it myself. If you slide it to the left, you will receive less data from the server, resulting in lower latency, better hit registration, some choppy animations. Slide it to the right and you will receive more data from the server, resulting from higher frequency, lower hit reg, and better animations. Though it depends on your internet speed and bandwidth usage, so this is just going to be personal to you, really. You're just going to have to find that sweet spot. This is going to be different for everyone. Just keep messing with it until your ping is still low, your animation's still smooth, and your hit reg is good. And so you don't get shot behind a rock. Now, I've been being shot behind a rock for I don't know how many months, not realising this. So this is going to be a brilliant help for me. So that's a good thing. Network smoothing. And when I did look at it, I think it's, I don't know if it's fully on. Yeah, it's fully on. It's fully to the right. So I'm going to try different settings. I'm going to probably go halfway, and then I'm going to go further to the left. I might try it off all the way to the left until I've got that right. But I don't want to be keep being shot behind things when I've gone in to cover. So that's excellent. That really is good. The last thing that there's a couple of more things, but we're just keeping it to 6 things at the moment. Another thing for accuracy is recoil. Right, now you need to this is just practice, really. There's no trick with this. It's just practice. I think I've seen somebody do it. You just go onto a empty server again, find a wall, and shoot without moving first, and see what happens. And they'll shoot from the bottom, or start at the bottom, and they keep moving up, and the recoil will take the bullets right up the wall. Now all you got to do, and then move along, find some fresh wall, and this time shoot, but slowly bring it down. You just got to work out the speed. You only have to use little fingers. You have to use your whole hand. You just only have to use your fingers just to pull it down a slight bit as you're shooting, and hopefully all the bullets will group into the middle. But that's just recoil, and there's no tricks to that really except for practice. And after a bit you won't think about it. But if you can't get that sus, and what I tend to do as well is you can switch it to burst mode. Instead of going bang 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 shooting and it's all going upwards, burst mode will put a few bullets in, and you can click it once and then click it twice. So you can put a burst in and then a burst in. So you can put one burst in, two bursts in, three bursts, but at least it won't be going completely out, and that's been working for me. So I've managed to knock somebody out, get the mill, and then finish them off. So that's the 6 tips for me from Simcraft. Let's just have a look what else we can. I'll just go over them quickly again, see what I've missed. Also, I'd like some help from this. Can I improve on this video? I don't mind repeating this video with updates and tweaks, and just improve it so it will help everybody else. But at the moment, all these are legitimate, well, not even modifications, they're just tweaks or user profile tweaks. I'm going to go and have a look, see what else I could help you with now. So we've done the network smoothing, Vsyncs. Oh, that's it. That's good. This Vsync thing again. This might help people. Right. This is good. Right, the little chart. I saw somebody that, and I've sort of followed their advice. Now, it's a little chart for the Vsync about, do you switch it on or do you switch it off? How do you set the frames per second? You know, the limiter. And this I'll take you through this. Now, we've got the config at the top, and then below that is all the configurations. The second one is tearing, if it tears or not. The next one is input lag, which you don't want because you want it to be fast, but then again you don't want tearing. And then the results. So I think the default at the moment is VSync on and frame limiter off. So if you get the frame limiter switched on, which you can switch on in game by putting render.draw FPS 1 to meaning on. That's the user.config in your origin folder and the C drive. Then it will show in the top right hand corner, and have a look at that. You can instead of 200, it could be anything at the moment that you've got, but if you've limited to 59, it should be around that area. And at the moment, with that, with the Vsync on, frame limiter off, you do get input lag. I haven't spelt that right. Input, I'll just change that file, save. Input lag, you do get input lag on the result. Right, here's the four different versions that you can change. You can either still keep the Vsync on, but have a frame limiter of 59 frames per second. That's the, have a look again, gametime.maxvariablefps 59. That's what that one means, which you can save in your user config file. Now what you get with that is tearing. You still don't get the tearing because you've got the Vsync on. The input lag is it's no, it's still a no. You don't get the input lag, but actually, if you had Vsync completely off, I think you get some tearing anyway. The results are, well, negligible or none. So that's the best thing you could do. But the variation on that, if you have the Vsync on and the frame limiter to 60, like I said, even though you think your frames are 60 and you put it frames per second, you get no tearing, but you do get an input lag. So the results input lag. So that's the difference between 59 and 60. Right, here's the next one. Vsync, this is different now. Vsync off, and then frame limiter on, either 58, 59, 61, 62, all different variations. You still get small amount of tearing, but no input lag. So you get slight tearing. So you could get away with that if you desperately want VSync completely off and no input lag whatsoever. The next one is Vsync off and frame limiter at 60 again. You do get tearing, but it's very high. See, it's the 60 and 60 there. You get your problems. No input lag, but that's no good because you're getting tearing, so you get higher tearing. So that really proves that you need it around 59. And that's why I've got it 59. But the one I haven't tried, which I'm going to try next, is it Vsync on and frame limiter at 59.94 and see what that's like. But if I can get away with the 59 without that, well, I'm going to try both anyway, just to play around. Anyway, as I said, the user config is in the C drive, program files times 86, origin games, Battlefield folder. And you can change WordPad, or you can download Notepad plus, I think it is, or plus. Then I'll put the default. Yeah, the default, look, game time at the bottom there was 200. So reduce that to 59. So that's a useful little chart. The other one was this mouse at the bottom, look. Oh, move me. Here, look. I had it like there. So it was spinning round, well, more than 360 in 1 second. You want it more accuracy because you'll be shooting forwards and trying to get the accuracy, and I think it should be up to about there, anywhere around there. Better than that. About 4.5. I might go full. Try different areas, whatever suits me. That's what I'm going to do for my next few games. And that's it, really. I probably have missed something, but I can always redo this video to it as good as I can get it. So that's it for now. Happy gaming, and hope your score all improves just the same time as mine does. I'll report on my results later on a later video, and see if I can tweak it even better than this. So hopefully you can comment below. If you can comment below, either give me suggestions and I'll try them out, and I'll come back with another video. Right, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now. That was me waving, by the way. That's waving goodbye. Bye.